Hi everyone. So this is gonna be we're gonna draw video game characters today. So I drew Fall Guys, just one of their little dudes, and Pikachu and Steve from Minecraft. But we can always draw whatever you guys want. I think I'm gonna start with Fall Guys because he's pretty easy, and the way that we set up our drawings is I'm going to be teaching everyone how to use geometric and organic shapes to um, to build onto more complex shapes so that you can get the kind of drawing that you want. And we do have the this file available for you um, in the chat so that you can look at the sketch, the line art, and the colored version. And you can even print them out if you just want to color like the line art page. So let's get started. And I want to keep this layer on. And I guess I should go into drawing programs. Before we get started, I'm using Clip Studio Paint, but you can also use Fire Alpaca. Oh, that's not Fire Alpaca. This is the Clip Studio Paint website, clipstudio.net. And this is what I use. It's available for PC, Mac, iPad, and it just recently came out on Apple and Android devices. So if it's something that you like, you can try that out. There's a free trial, or there's Fire Alpaca. This is a free. This is a free resource. It's a drawing program. It's set up basically like Clip Studio, just a little simpler. But if you don't have the means to download something, you can do sketch.io/sketchpad, and it's got some different brushes, and you can also use layers, which are over here. So that's really nice. And that's available to you on your browser. I'm using Chrome. I'm not sure if there's a better browser for it. So yeah, let's get right into it. Cool. So we're gonna draw him first. We're gonna draw him first. I like to sketch with a pencil in blue, and he is made out of a circle and then like a really like egg shape with like gap in between. So really, he's just got that. And then he's got little triangle feeties. And then his head, kind of two more circles about right here is where we're going to put the hands. And we're going to use ovals to build the hands like that. And then his like little glove cuffs. And the rest of his arm. Then a smaller circle inside for his head. And I think their eyes are normally like this in the game, but I kind of made it look like he was smiling in the original, but he doesn't have a mouth. And we do that by just like taking that original shape and going it at an angle, and now it kind of looks like he's smiling but without the mouth. And then we gave him a crown, which is kind of a square or rectangle, but the top and bottom sides are curved downward a little bit. And then we're gonna cut out like some triangle upside down shapes, and that's going to make his crown. And now we can move on. Oh, I forgot his belt. So his belt would be following this guideline for the hand that I did, with a square in the center. And then he has striped pants. So I'm going to turn this down in opacity. And then I'm going to make a new layer. Oh, that's not the new layer button. This is the new layer button. And I'm going to switch to the pen tool. Yeah. And I'm going to choose black. We're going to start with his face. You don't have to copy your lines exactly. They're just guidelines. If you find that you draw something, you draw your lines better than how you like your sketch, then you can keep it. And if you decide that you didn't like that, you can press the undo button or the eraser. The eraser is right here. The undo button is right here. Or you can press Control Z on your keyboard, and that's also the undo button. All right, take his crown. Just gonna clean that up with the eraser. Okay. And we're gonna go and make his body, his hands. little feet. I didn't like that. Okay, so, okay, and then the lines to his pants are the last thing that's left. I'm doing this on a curve because he's kind of he's roundish. So if we drew lines on a ball, like a beach ball, they would follow the curve of the ball. And so we're just taking these lines, these ones, and we're following the curve that would be his body. So I'm gonna close the gaps on here. I'm gonna erase this a little bit, and then I'm gonna redraw it a little better. Okay. Looking at this, that's where the top of his or bottom of his eye should be, and there, the top of his eye should be there. So kind of like that. And then I'm gonna press the G button twice, and that'll give me the paint bucket tool, and I can just fill in those spots black. Because he doesn't have any other colors on his eyes. And then we can go back down to the sketch layer and turn it off. And then we can make a new layer, and we're going to fill in his coloring. So I'm gonna make this a reference layer, which is the line art, and that'll help us with selecting the inside shapes. And we're gonna go back down to our coloring layer. And let's see. So I'm gonna go to the magic wand tool, which is auto select. And then I'm gonna select, I'm gonna close gap somewhere, or open. Oh, I found it. It's right here. Okay, and now I've got this red color that I chose for him, but from what I understand in the game, you have customizable characters. So you can pick out whatever color you like. Since I've seen like purple ones and green ones. But I'm going to paint him in red, and I'm going to give him Control D is how you deselect. And then I'm going to color in his, I did a blue, like a, I did like a greenish blue. You can also select from here, which is what I just did. You just click and then decide where on the color wheel you want to go. And again, to do this, I am clicking the magic wand tool, which is W, and then I'm selecting the area that I want by clicking, and then I'm pressing the G key, G is in golf, twice, and that brings me to the paint bucket tool, and then I just select the selection and it fills in. His next is yellow. Probably right there is good. And I'm going to select multiple things this time. So I need to make sure my selection is on Add to Selection, which is right here. And then Selection for Referred Layers is on. And I'm going to select his gloves. His belt buckle and his crown. And I'm going to press G twice, and each part should be filled in. That's an awfully saturated yellow, so I'm gonna tone it down a bit. Yeah, that's pretty close. I missed a selection, so I can press my W key again and reselect the areas that I missed. And then Control D to unselect what I have selected. I noticed that I originally had his feet colored in red, but I forgot to color his feet, so we can select those, press I to get that color. I is the eyedropper tool, so you don't have to try and guess what color you had previously. And then you can press G twice and then fill them in. And then Control D to deselect. And then I chose this light gray, or light brown. That's not gray at all. And I'm gonna choose every other stripe on his pants and fill them in. And then Control D to deselect. And then I'm gonna press I to grab that brown color. Again, you don't have to choose the exact colors I'm doing. You can choose whatever colors you want, because it's your fall guy. Okay. And then Control D, and he's colored in. I'm gonna delete that. Okay. And there's your guy. I'm gonna put him in a folder. And And then I'm going to click the line art and all the way down to the sketch layer, and I'm going to drag and drop them in there. And then I can do the little caret key to hide it, and then I can hide him if I want. I can also just resize him so he's out of the way. Okay. Next we can do Pikachu, or we can do, if there's anybody who would like to recommend a Pokemon or a different video game character, we can definitely draw that. Because I know Mario's coming out tomorrow. We could draw Mario if anybody's excited for Mario. Or we could draw anybody's Pokemon. But for right now, I'll draw Pikachu, and if you guys have a request, we can put that in there. Yoshi? Okay, yeah, Yoshi. I love Yoshi. Okay, so this is a good time to bring up references. So references are if you go to like Google and you type in Yoshi's Woolly World, you can get a pretty good idea of hold on. Okay, cool. Of like what he looks like, and then there's this snip and stitch tool. You can press new and grab Yoshi, and then you can press Control C. No. And then Control V, and he'll show up in a new layer. He's gonna be really tiny, but we can make him bigger. Okay. Then I'm gonna start a new layer, and then I'm gonna show you how we can break down Yoshi so that you could draw your own Yoshi. Let's see here. Go back to my pencil. I like to work in blue. Yeah. So a lot of ways are in art school. If you decide to go to art school, which is totally not necessary, you guys are like have a long way to go to think about that. But they'll show you how to like break down images. Let's try red. So that you can learn how things are structured. So we see Yoshi has a big circle here, and he's got like a circle here, and kind of like a circle here, and then his like mouth. And then we see this shape right here, which is really, it's just a circle at the bottom of his body. And this is his center line. And then it like dips into the tail. And then he has a circle on his back for his shell. And he has two legs. This shape right here is hidden by his back, and then this kind of like half circle shape makes up his feet. So if we move this, you can already see like we kind of have Yoshi. But tracing's a good way to teach you how to set up and build what's called a visual library, so that when you eventually start drawing on your own, you have the like muscle memory to do this without any guidelines. So I'm gonna go back to the blue and so we've got this shape, this shape, and this shape. And you don't have to be exact because you can have differences in style. And we're gonna cut this shape kind of like this because it's gonna be his eyes. And that's his cheek. There's his hand that I never drew in this one. And then that this body bit that goes into his tail. And then his little boot. He's got like a cuff on there too, so. And then his other one. We can, and then the half circle. We're gonna move his arm. Okay, so that's, let's see. I wanna make his tail bigger. And yes. Okay, so we can reduce the opacity of this layer. And we can make a new layer. I'm gonna go to black and the pen tool. And now we can start tracing over Yoshi. I don't know if you guys have ever played Super Mario Sunshine, but that's coming out on the Switch tomorrow, and that was my favorite game when I was little, or at least one of them. Pokemon was actually my favorite game, but it was so good. You run around and you collect stars like all the Mario games. And you can get Yoshi, and he changes color depending on what fruit you eat. And what does he do? He does this, he like sprays juice at enemies, and the enemies are like weak to water. And it's so good. I think in like normal games, not Yoshi's Woolly World, he has like nostrils, so I'm gonna put those in. And color his eyes in. There we go. Pretty sure he also actually has hands in the other games. Instead of just like little nubbins. Then we're gonna draw these like little cuffs and his shoes. His other arm. I didn't do a good job on that. Other arm. And the shell on his back. And then his other leg. And I'm pretty sure he's got this pattern on his shoes. It's a little hard to tell because I pulled up Yoshi's Woolly World. I don't know why I did that. And I'm gonna erase this little piece right here because that's annoying me. Okay, so we've got a Yoshi, and he makes this like cute like blim noise. He's great. We can keep that on, but we're gonna take off the sketch layer, and we're gonna make a new layer underneath the liner, and we're going to turn the liner into a reference layer. So, oh, I forgot his little spikies on his head. That's fine. We can add them. So they're just like that. Oh, I'm on the colors layer. That's fine. I'm gonna undo that line art. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So he's got green. There are lots of different colors of Yoshis, but we're gonna go with the normal green one. And we're gonna select all the green parts of Yoshi, which are his, the area around his eyes, his nose, his arms, the back, his tail, and his legs. And then we're gonna click G, and that's a problem. That's fine. I'll fix that later. That happened because there's this little part in the liner that didn't connect, leaving a gap when I selected, it thought that I also wanted that area too, his stomach, and it also didn't select right here because it's too narrow. That's okay because we can just color it in with the pen tool. Oops. Crud. I've been on the wrong layer the entire time. Okay, go back to the right one. Okay, and now I can color this area. And I can go in with my eraser tool and erase what I didn't want to be white, or what I didn't want to be green. You can change the brush size on your pen with either the bracket keys or this right here. This brush size bar determines how big it is. If you're using a pen like I am, pen sensitivity is on, which is basically saying, are you pressing down really hard or really light? And that determines what the brush looks like. Okay, so that's good. I'm pretty sure Yoshi has blue eyes. But Yoshi's Woolly World doesn't tell me anything. So I guess we'll color them black. And then we've got red that we need. So his little back spikes, his turtle shell, and his feet are red. And this right here, there was like I didn't close the gap right there. So I'm just gonna trace over the area. And then I'm gonna press D. Oops. Make this small again. Okay. And his feet on the bottom of his, what are they called? The soles of his feet are yellow. We're gonna go with that yellow. No, we're gonna go a little bit brighter. Yeah. I guess the inside of his mouth is also red. And there we've got Yoshi. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick drink and then we can We can either draw Pikachu or Steve. I don't think I did a very good job on Steve, so I'd rather draw Pikachu. Or any Pokemon, really, other than Steve. Oh, okay. We only have 5 minutes left. That's okay. I'll draw Pikachu really fast, but I won't color him. Or I could draw Jigglypuff, actually. Because Jigglypuff's just a circle. Actually... I can do... No, definitely not. Okay, it's gonna be Pikachu. Thank you for joining. If anybody has any questions, let me know. Here's a really silly looking Pikachu. Thank you.